Hey, Alabama. Kane Womack warns that South Carolina's quarterback is dangerous. Should Bama be on alert? Let's see what's new, but first, become a member and get access to exclusive videos and materials so you can help the channel continue its work. Let's move on. South Carolina may not be ranked among the best teams right now, but that doesn't mean Alabama should underestimate them, especially with Lenora Sellers leading the offense. The Gamecocks' young quarterback already proved last year that he's capable of causing problems for the Crimson Tide, even in a setting as hostile as Bryant-Denny Stadium. Sellers led South Carolina to the brink of a stunning victory against Alabama in 2024, losing by just 2 points, 27-25. He threw for 238 yards and 2 touchdowns in that matchup, demonstrating his ability to lead a competitive team against a program of Bama stature. Alabama's defensive coordinator, Kane Womack, has already warned of the danger Sellers poses. It's no wonder. The South Carolina QB is a dual threat, combining passing accuracy with mobility on the ground. Despite being limited to just 19 rushing yards against Alabama in 2024, Sellers accumulated 674 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns over the season, in addition to throwing for 2,534 yards and 18 touchdowns. He was named to the preseason All-SEC second team, a recognition that reflects his growing impact on the conference stage. Sellers is the type of player who demands respect and increased attention, and Alabama knows it. However, if there's one thing that defines the Crimson Tide right now, it's their ability to evolve and overcome challenges. Alabama's defense, under Womack's leadership, has already demonstrated its strength in facing powerful offenses this season. They managed 4 sacks against Sellers last year and will enter the October 25th game with a clear intention of repeating or even surpassing that performance. Furthermore, the defensive scheme has proven to be more aggressive and adaptable under Kalen DeBoer, something that will be crucial in neutralizing Sellers' explosive plays. But this game will also mark another chapter in Ty Simpson's rise as Alabama's offensive leader. Simpson, who has already proven himself to be a reliable and resilient quarterback, will have the opportunity to shine once again. Facing an opponent like Sellers is not only a test for him, but also a chance to show the world that Alabama is still Alabama, a program that doesn't just win, but dominates. Simpson has been gaining more and more confidence throughout the season, and his connection with the receivers and the running game has been a game changer. He won't just go for the win. He wants to make a statement. Lenora Sellers certainly has respect for Alabama, as he recently admitted in an interview with the Zach Gelb Show. "Man, Alabama is still Alabama to me," he said. "They're big, strong, and fast. That's how I remember watching them growing up." Sellers acknowledges that, despite the new coaching staff led by Kalen DeBoer, the Crimson Tide's DNA remains intact, a team built to compete and win on the biggest stages. However, the mutual respect between the two teams doesn't change the ultimate goal. For Alabama, this game is another opportunity to reinforce its position as one of the best teams in the country. While Sellers made his mark last year, this time the scenario will be different. Alabama is not only more experienced, but also more cohesive. The message is clear. The Crimson Tide will not leave room for surprises. With Ty Simpson leading the offense and a defense that continues to improve every week, Alabama is poised to emerge victorious. On October 25th, Alabama will prove once again that when it comes to college football, few teams can compete with its greatness. In Tuscaloosa, the voices that matter most aren't those coming from outside, but those echoing inside the locker room. And when Alabama starting quarterback Ty Simpson speaks, his teammates listen. The Crimson Tide's young leader has experienced a season of accelerated maturation, where internal pressure and self-criticism have become part of his routine. More than just leading the offense on the field, Simpson is learning the weight of being the face of a program that holds the highest standard of excellence in college football. Simpson the other day once again demonstrated the personality that has earned the respect of Kalen DeBoer's squad and coaching staff: accountability and transparency. When asked what he needs to do to improve, the quarterback was direct. No excuses, no beating around the bush. I can't hold the ball as much. I have to throw faster in the flat, on checkdowns, and better understand third down situations, he said. Sometimes I'm waiting for the big play, and I have to accept what the defense gives me. That's something I have to fix. I'm putting ourselves in bad positions, and that's disappointing because those are things that are easy to fix. The words carry a weight that goes beyond tactics. Simpson speaks as someone aware of his responsibility to a program that, even in a rebuilding phase, doesn't accept standards less than excellence. Since the beginning of the DeBoer era, Alabama has been undergoing a process of redefining its identity, and the quarterback has placed himself at the center of this transformation. His constant self-criticism reflects a leader who understands that the Tide's success depends as much on execution as on mentality. The quarterback also didn't hesitate to challenge his teammates. According to offensive lineman Caden Proctor, Simpson attacked the offense earlier in the week, a leadership gesture that shows how he's willing to push, but also to be pushed. I told them how I felt as a leader, Simpson explained. It's my job to get the best out of the guys and myself. In the last few games, we haven't performed well in some areas, and I just wanted everyone to understand what the standard is here, the standard of this offense. In a program accustomed to quarterbacks who become symbols, from Jalen Hurts to Bryce Young and his former teammate Milroe, Ty Simpson seems to be following the same path, with an authenticity that matches DeBoer's new era. He's still developing, with flaws to correct and challenges ahead. But what you see is a player aware of what needs to change to grow. This willingness to face his own mistakes is exactly the kind of attitude the Alabama coach values. DeBoer, who has reiterated the importance of players taking responsibility and remaining calm under pressure, finds in Simpson a practical example of his message. The quarterback doesn't hide behind the offensive line or blame the tactical scheme. He talks about improving, taking action, and adjusting. And he does so with the maturity of someone who understands what it means to wear the crimson. As Alabama seeks offensive consistency and tries to cement its identity in the SEC, Ty Simpson emerges as a point of stability. He's not just the driving force behind the offense. He's the voice that holds the group together when things don't flow smoothly. In a rapidly changing college football environment, this combination of talent and responsibility is what separates good quarterbacks from true leaders. Let's move on. James Franklin's recent dismissal at Penn State was one of those moments that shook the waters, and the effects of this decision are already beginning to spread like ripples on a pond. Among these repercussions is Alabama's official offer to four-star wide receiver Jahsir Rodgers, a promising talent in the 2026 class. This strategic move by the Crimson Tide not only reflects its ability to adapt quickly to market changes, but also demonstrates that the program never rests on its laurels when it comes to securing the best athletes for its roster. Rodgers, a graduate of Appoquinimink High School in West Middletown, Delaware, was already committed to Penn State before Franklin's abrupt departure. However, as is often the case in these cases, the departure of an iconic coach can create an opening for other programs to step in. And who better to seize this opportunity than Alabama? The Crimson Tide, led by Kalen DeBoer, wasted no time in extending an offer to the young wide receiver, demonstrating that, even amidst turmoil, the program knows exactly how to attract elite talent. With this, Alabama not only expanded its target list for the future, but also sent a clear message. Regardless of the circumstances, they're always ready to compete for the top spot. Rodgers is exactly the type of player Alabama typically seeks. Athletic, versatile, and capable of changing the course of a game with his skills. He is described as a deceptive route runner, someone who can easily create separation from defenders. This trait is especially valuable in an offensive scheme that values precision and creativity, like the one employed by the Crimson Tide. Furthermore, Rodgers is known for his explosiveness after the catch, something that makes every play he's involved in potentially decisive. For a team constantly seeking to improve its scoring ability, a player like him would be a true diamond in the rough, ready to be polished. But what makes this situation even more interesting is the context in which it unfolds. With Franklin's departure, Rodgers now has a slew of new offers from high-profile programs, including Oklahoma, Nebraska, North Carolina, and Wake Forest, among others. This flurry of interest makes it clear that he is seen as a top-tier prospect, and Alabama, by entering this competition, is showing that it is not afraid to face competition. On the contrary, the program appears to be using the instability at Penn State as an opportunity to reinforce its position as an irresistible destination for the country's best athletes. For Kalen DeBoer and his staff, this move on Rodgers is part of a larger strategy. Alabama isn't just recruiting individual players, it's building a legacy. Each athlete brought into the program is carefully chosen for their ability to fit into the team's overall vision, both on and off the field. Rodgers, with his combination of speed, playmaking intelligence, and physical strength, is exactly the kind of asset that can help the Crimson Tide continue to dominate the college scene for years to come. His presence on the roster could represent a significant upgrade in the depth and versatility of the wide receiver group, something that has always been crucial to the program's success. Of course, there's still a long way to go before any final decision is made. Rodgers remains committed to Penn State, at least for now, and any move will depend on a number of factors, including his impressions of Alabama during the recruiting process. However, the mere fact that the Crimson Tide entered the fray is a sign that the program is willing to do whatever it takes to secure the best talent available. For Alabama fans, this news is a reminder that Alabama not only follows recruiting trends, but also shapes them to its own goals. While Josiah Rodgers' future remains uncertain, one thing is certain. Alabama is once again proving itself to be a giant that never rests. In a world where change is constant and opportunities arise suddenly, the Crimson Tide remains the same old Alabama. And with players like Rodgers on the radar, it's clear the program isn't just thinking about the present, but also about the future with great players. Comment,